Thank you so much for your time revisiting these 10 minutes on the topics of change management. Agility leadership in VUCA. Agility brings us a feeling of speedy, brings us a feeling of, in this ever-changing situation, we need to adopt in different scenario as a leader. And when we talk about VUCA, I do believe that this term has been very much familiar with a lot of us. But how you feel towards it? Some leaders think that brings us some positivity because under this speedy process, a lot of new opportunity occurs. But at the same time, that would be the flip side of full of risk. Let's say COVID-19. When will it be end? The continuous social movement, how does it impact to the Hong Kong political and also economic outlook moving on? But in general, as a leader, we need to make a lot of these decisions. So that's why a lot of people will think that VUCA representing the unknown tomorrow. It's not about unknown future. Even tomorrow, we can't particularly anticipate in a very correct way what will exactly happen tomorrow. So it changed a lot about the management concept. People say that management do the thing right, whereas leadership do the right things. I think this concept has to be transformed in today's VUCA economy by means of we need to do the right things wrongly. Of course, I'm not saying that we intentionally make it wrong, but without 100% guarantee about the decisions, if we think that that is the right things, we have to do it, even though there may be chance for us to fail. Plus, we need to learn how to fail in the right way. Failure is something acceptable in a certain sense, but we need to master the effective way to fail in an effective way, which I would like to introduce you the concept of agility leadership, which is composed by 3 fail. We fail fast, we fail small, and also we fail forwards. This is the essence for us to do the agility leadership. First of all, fail fast. In a quick way to say, if you don't master the current moment and opportunity to fail, you might miss the opportunity to fail. It sounds very strange, but I will let you know that that is very correct. Because in a VUCA world, once we see about the opportunity, immediately for the next day, that could be gone because of the circumstances keep on changing. We might not have enough experience, we might not have enough information, but if we don't judge to take the decision and take the action right now, the chance just gone in a very volatile base. That's particularly, I would like to link it with the management phenomenon for a lot of junior and also middle manager. We tend not to make any decisions. The reason of that, gonna be simple, but gonna be so much easy to empathize. Because right after we make the decisions, what will follow? Responsibility and the circumstances and the consequences. If we make the decision right, victory come. Of course, we can enjoy a very good consequence. But at the same time, if we make it wrongly, failure come to us, then we also need to take the responsibility as well. That is for a lot of people, when we work in corporations, we don't want to be badly evaluated. So that's why a lot of junior to middle manager, we tend not to make any decision, but just wait and see, to see whether our superior will be able to make the decision on behalf, or any of our subordinate will say out some opinion. Then the simple job for us is to just buy them in. But this is very much time consuming. At the right moment, when there is a chance for us to make decisions, make sure that we should be brave enough to make our own decisions. And taking this opportunity to train up our manager thinking perspective, including think fast, think deep, and think wide. Why I talk about that? At the moment, when I don't want to make decisions, in another way to say, I don't want my logic flow to be present, to be seen by the other. Because when my logic flow is going to be present in front of you, I might got challenged, I might got criticism. But the fact is, if we are not open up our logic flow to let people comment, we will never be able to go deep dive into a very in-depth level. And if we are not going to be an in-depth level and really execute about our own judgment, no impact can prove whether my judgment is badly or positively influencing to the other team and for the whole company. So that's why it's a set going consecutively that when we think fast, and then we can think deep. And at the same time, we can also think why. A lot of managers, like myself, should go pro-sitting about this process to learn. I remember more than 1.5 decades when I was being grown by my manager. I think I was very happy to got a very good, but at the same time, incur a lot of stress, superior. So once she asked for my opinion, hey, Alvin, how do you think about that? At the same time, her finger would be counting down like 5. Your answer. I was so much stressful. But at the same time, when I open up my logic flow, immediately I invite tremendous amount of criticism. But that is a learning process, believe it. At that time, I learned how to think more deeper. And at the same time, when I execute my own decisions, and then the consequence, it proved that some of the decision is correct, but some of the decision might not be. That made me to think wider. So in a moment when we got opportunity to make decisions, we need to learn to think pretty quick. Or even fail, we need to fail fast. That's the number one fail. Number 2, we need to fail small. Even though company allow us to make failure, but it doesn't mean that we can make the failure which cause a lot of money lost. And go for the very extreme case, it is not acceptable to let the company go bankruptcy. So we need to make the fail to be in a manageable size. Nowadays, when we talk about logical thinking, we try to transform the concept into 2 very prominent concepts. One is about calculative risk. And second is all about reasonable hypothesis. No matter we do for the calculative risk or reasonable hypothesis, one thing is so much important. It is all about data. We think about where is the data? And do we have the relevant data? And the things that we grasp, would it be applicable for my decision, my company, or not? Using an example in the COVID-19 for a lot of small and medium company, unlike the big scale company, they have completely got no experience for work from home. So whether implementing work from home policy or not, that creates us a lot of stress. If I make this failure, would it be too big for the whole business? A lot of business leaders would have that frustration at that time. When they look into the external data, they also struggle whether I could take those data as irrelevant data to further their judgment. Provided that if the data is not from the similar scale of company, if the data is not from a similar scale of industry, so whether they be able to take it and provided that with different management style, so whether that data is relevant or not. The way how I suggest those companies at that moment of time is to create relevant data themselves. As mentioned, data is so much important for the relevancy and also about the reasonable hypothesis. Instead of having the whole company to go for work from home, I was suggesting them to have one single team to give a trial. And after that team go for a week or a couple of weeks, collect their opinion from them. Instead of having all the data from outside, the current new concept for calculative risk will be highly depending on the internal data created by means of this testing phase. If you be able to change a concept from collecting data to creating data, low small relevancy would be there for helping you to make the right decision. Then your fail will be in a manageable size. Finally, fail forward. It sounds very common, but particularly for a lot of managers, when we have been growing up in the corporate, when we have been earning a lot of management experience, one thing unconsciously grows very big, which is an invisible but a prominent enemy for ourselves, which is our ego. Without self-awareness, we don't even know that we are just reacting but not responding. Without self-awareness, we are insisting too much that preventing us from having our ear open to listen to the team's opinion. We don't accept our own failure. We don't learn from that. So that's why how we be able to transform from having the ego to genuinely embrace about the growth mindset. I think that is so much important for nowadays agility leadership. For all the agile leader, we have to learn from every single failure. We need to have the open-minded. And at the same time, when we would like to embrace vulnerability, we wish our people, our subordinate, they be able to also learn from the failure, the mistake that they commit. We have to be their role model. Because in the influence concept, it's a model of 7-2-1. In order to influence our people effectively, 70% of the whole construct is whether we are their role model or not. All right? So this is the very big part for us to influence our team further. Remember, these three fail in the agility leadership is very much important, particularly in the VUCA economy, including fail fast, fail small, and fail forward. And wish in this VUCA world, we be able to learn together and support each other as the overall leadership to make a better world. Thank you.